It starts with an itch and a tingle, and then it builds and expands. And suddenly, all at once, my legs won't let me stand. I scratch till my fingers go numb.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of Suicide Sucks. Now, with me in the camper today, just so that you know, I've got tea. John's got coffee this morning. With me in the camper is John Jr., and he is a suicide prevention activist. Now, I first became aware of John through Papyrus. For those who don't know, they're another fantastic organisation who are fighting to prevent young suicide. And I was told about John from Dutch at Papyrus, and he told me about this amazing movement that he'd founded where John travels around the UK encouraging people to open up about their mental health. But he doesn't do this alone. Oh no, he has with him a stuffed teddy called Charlie the Duck. So we've got Ozzy in the camper van today, my dog, but yeah, he goes around with a teddy called Charlie the Duck. John has also co-created a BAFTA award-winning short called Hollyoaks Saved My Life. And I can hear you asking, why does he do all this? Well, as we all know, lockdown was tough, really tough for a lot of people. And John says that lockdown destroyed his mental health, and tormented by suicidal thoughts, he made plans to take his own life. So welcome, John.
Hey, thank you very much for having me. It's brilliant here.
Brilliant to have you here.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And I'm going to start, as I always do, people should know by now, with the key question. Can you tell us about your darkest day?
Darkest day? Waking up every day wanting to die. Walking around, smiling, laughing and joking, pretending everything's fine, and actually dying inside. You know, part of yourself is, you know, wanting to get those feelings away, but really you're being taken over by a demon, I would say, inside. I didn't know this at the time, but our mind corrupts and confuses us, and what's real is inside our heart. But we always get manipulated by our own mind and our own thoughts. So, yeah, I mean, my darkest day really was probably when I was like 11 years old. I was confused about my sexuality, my gender, my identity. I told my mum I wanted to be a woman, which is like, what the hell, you know, your mum going, what? Okay. I remember telling her. She looked at me like weirdly, and then, yeah, like, okay. Must have thought, oh, what's going on here?
How did she deal with that?
I don't know, she just like, you know, just kept a brave face on. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay. I probably thought, oh, what's going on here? Yeah, because I used to go to the urinals. Well, when I was 8 or 9, let's go back again. Sorry. Lost my train of thought then. In primary school, went to the toilet, and I went to the urinal to have a wee, and I was like, no, that doesn't sit right with me. I need to go and sit down, like women. So it's weird that, thinking like that at that age. Constantly feeling like I wanted to harm myself at 8 and 9. Started self-harming at 9. Didn't know why I was doing it. Parents didn't know. They didn't know about it till I was about 11 or 12. Yeah. That was a dark day for me. Yeah. When I was that age. 8, 9, 11, yeah.
Wow. So what happened with your discovering your identity?
It took a long time to discover who I am. Like 20 odd years. Like, let's talk about the present time now. I see myself as, sorry, I'm just getting distracted by the duck.
Oh yeah, fellow duck.
Yeah, a little ducky.
Got a little knitted duck on the camper van wall.
Yeah. Sorry, what was I saying then?
About your identity and not really discovering.
Yeah, I didn't really know who I was back then. You know, when I was at primary school, high school, I thought I wanted to be a woman. And then I started testosterone therapy, and I started feeling like more masculine. Told my parents I wanted a sex change, told them I was gay. I was completely confused. I did not know what was going on. I had nothing. So I had all that going on. I used to get bullied at school as well because of the way I walked. I had like one leg short than the other. Used to always be in hospital. Used to always be on crutches or in a wheelchair and stuff. So I used to get bullied for that, which was horrible. And then I used to self-harm as a release to feel in control of my emotions. Now I know that now, but back then I was wondering, why was I doing all that? Didn't get it. Didn't understand why. Do you know what I mean? Like, why am I doing this to myself in primary school? Like, what's going on?
And did you get any help for that at that early age? Or?
No. I had bolts put in my knees at 12 in Staffordshire Hospital through an operation. But before I had that, the pre-op, they found out I had this thing called Klinefelter syndrome, which means male boys are born with an extra X chromosome, and the extra X is the female chromosome. So I was like, you know, my penny drop moment, like, oh my God, that's why I wanted to be a woman. Do you know what I mean? Like, what?
Wow.
Yeah. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? It made me wonder, like, a lot. It was very confusing. That
must have made you feel a bit, I can't think of the right word really, not happier, but, you know, better about the situation.
It did, because it had, like, a bit of closure of why I'm feeling like that. Because that's all I could put it down to. It's a crazy time, that. Very crazy. And like today, the present time, I know who I am. Like, I'm attracted to people's personality rather than gender or how they look. The media and journalists and that, they label me as non-binary, gender fluid, because the way I describe how I feel, they need to put a label on it. You know what I mean, don't you? Everything needs a label today.
Nowadays, yeah.
But speaking on a deeper level now, I'm in limbo constantly. I tell my friends that, and they don't understand it. Like, it's so difficult to explain. Like, some days I do feel like a female, and I do dress up. And some days I feel like a man, and I do dress up. But I don't label that as man or woman. I just label that as, John feels like that one day.
Yeah.
John feels like that the other day. I don't see myself as, you know, a bit of a man, a bit of a woman. I'm just in limbo, and I don't know what it feels like. Like, I know we're going off a bit topic here, but like, people go, like, my friends used to say, oh, I'm dead horny. I'm like, what is that? I've never experienced that. I do not know what it means. I don't know how it feels. You know, and I've had that conversation with the GP, like, you know, at 30, like, hey, what's horny mean? And they're like, they look at me like, what? As if it's normal.
Isn't it? There's a word for that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because there's a programme that my daughter watches called Heartstopper.
Okay.
And there was, it's all young kids.
Yeah.
And there was a boy on there that doesn't feel sexual arousal type of thing.
Yeah.
And it's got a name.
I don't know. Is it asexual?
Maybe it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's as simple as that, yeah. But, you know, it's an actual thing, and some people don't know that.
I didn't know. They're like, what? And it's like when I have sex, for example, and I'm talking off topic right now, but it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah. I don't feel anything. I like making the other person feel good.
Yeah.
But I don't feel anything. I've never felt anything ever.
Really?
Ever. Yeah, I don't feel anything. Physical. Even when I kiss someone, I can't feel it.
What about when you?
What?
You know, when you...
Oh, finish?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Like, yeah, I can feel that. I can feel that sensation, but I don't know what it feels like emotionally. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's weird.
Yeah, that is weird. Well, no, it's not weird.
It's not weird,
it's like
yeah, and that's why I don't feel like a man.
confusing.
Yeah,
That's
it's confusing.
What I meant. Not
yeah.
weird, it's confusing.
No, yeah. So I feel like I'm in limbo.
Yeah. And that's even now?
Right now, yeah.
Right.
Like, I'm self-aware and I'm more aware on myself and how I feel. But, like, yeah. Yeah, I think that's the only thing I feel is when you know, after you've ejaculated or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be PC by saying that.
Very good. I was going to say shoot your load.
Yeah, I was going to say
that's much
come
better.
everywhere, but yeah, whatever.
I will have to put X-rated on this
Yeah,
one, I think.
no.
So you've had quite a lot to deal with in your younger days and stuff. How old were you during lockdown?
So my dad died when I was 29. Lockdown was 2020, so 31.
Okay. So when you got to 31, would you say that's when it came to a peak?
My mental health?
Yeah.
What happened was, when my dad died, obviously, I did try and end my life. Got saved in hospital. and I was having palpitations, I couldn't breathe, I was getting all sorts of stuff. Got taken to A&E, they give me some stuff, said, "You're lucky to be alive, mate."
And this is when you were 29?
Yeah,
say
after my dad just
yeah.
passed away, yeah. He said, "You're lucky to be alive, what's going on?" So I told them, I said, "Oh, we understand that. I understand. Just don't want to see you here again." And I didn't. And I went to Revolution in Winslow drinking, getting pissed. And I just had like this wave come over me thinking, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Pick yourself back up and go and fucking sort yourself out. So I did, and I went to the GP, got myself diagnosed with BPD, and I tried to get the help in my area. Couldn't get the help.
For anyone who doesn't know what that is?
Borderline personality disorder. There's a massive, big stigma around it.
Yeah.
You know, from the Johnny Depp case. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Like, oh, because, you know, his wife had BPD. Oh, my God, and she's a total narcissist. Well, you can't have both, but anyway. So, yeah, BPD. Got diagnosed with that. Couldn't get the help in my local area, so I started a local campaign. And my MP in the area, which I like but not a lot of people do, her name's Esther McVeigh. She's conservative. And she really helped me with my campaign. So the type of therapy that I needed so I'll explain what BPD is. So BPD is you're basically unstable. You have unstable relationships. You're very impulsive, reckless, all them kind of behaviours. You fear abandonment. So if you're with someone or surrounding yourself with friends who are toxic, you won't want them to leave, so you do anything you can, even if you're getting treated like shit, basically. That's in a nutshell.
Right, yeah.
Or if you get criticised a little bit or something changes, you can feel suicidal, you can self-harm to make yourself feel better from that. Feel a lot of guilt and shame. Something called splitting as well, where you can split and you can just be completely horrible and nasty to someone. Next minute, you're thinking, oh God, what have I done here? Yeah, so it's a personality disorder. It's very, very complex. So I got diagnosed with that, couldn't get the help, started this campaign. So the kind of therapy that you need for someone with BPD is DBT, which is Dialectical Behaviour Therapy. It's not available in Cheshire East. It's not available in most areas in the UK because it's very expensive and there's not many people that can give it.
Right.
Unless you hit a certain trauma stage. I think it's like stage 4 or something like that.
Oh yeah, so you've got to hit a bad level.
Really bad level to have it, yeah. Yeah, so DBT, Dialectical Behaviour Therapy, pushes for a more positive behavioural change, and it helps people with self-destructive behaviours such as self-harm, suicide ideation.
Right.
So
how?
How?
Yeah.
There's 4 different components for it. There is interpersonal skills. The interperson bit's right. Might be something else after it. But emotional regulation, so it helps you, and social skills as well. There's a couple of other bits to it. They'll have to Google it if you want to, because I can't get it all out right now. I get like that sometimes. I'm talking, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot all these little bits and pieces.
Exactly the same.
Well, yeah, there's 4 parts to it. So yeah, it pushes for a more positive behavioural change. And it takes a lot of time to do it. Right. Like 12-month course, something like that.
Okay. So how do they do it?
It's therapy, so it's face-to-face.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, face-to-face.
So talking?
Talking, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then you got like a worksheet that you go through and stuff.
Right.
So yeah, I think it was created by a woman in America. I can't remember her name now, 'cause I've got the book at home. It's a big book that you go through. But I feel like with therapy isn't for everyone. I've had every therapy under the sun. Now, going back to the DBT, I couldn't get it in the area, so we took it nationally. So the Minister of Mental Health at the time was Nadine Dorries. Not really a fan of, in the political thing. But in 2022 and 2023, we got 380,000 people off NHS waiting lists and into DBT therapy. Yeah, partly through lockdown, yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, 380,000 people. I didn't get it myself, but I didn't do it for that. Did it for other people.
Right.
And I paid myself to have a module done, which was so expensive, for the emotional regulation. I needed that.
Right.
I don't think I'd be here today if I didn't have that, honestly. Yeah, honestly, yeah.
And that's key, isn't it? You've said you've tried every therapy going. You've just got to find the one that suits you. Yeah.
You do. Not every way works for everyone, do you know what I mean? And I feel like when you go through certain situations in your life, it changes you. Doesn't make you stronger. I don't like that word. When people go, oh, I'm stronger or I'm motivated. Bullshit. Got to be self-disciplined. And if you're not disciplined, you ain't going to do it. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? You're not going to do it. Oh, I feel motivated today. It's Monday. I'm going to start my diet. But then in 2 weeks' time, it's all right. I won't do it. You haven't got discipline. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I discipline myself. I do now. And would you agree being self-aware makes things a lot more clearer?
Definitely. But it's getting to that point where you understand what it means to you to be self-aware and what's important to you.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I know I was going off track when I bang.
Yeah.
That's what happens, yeah.
But that's how they are.
Yeah.
We just go with the flow.
Go with the flow, yeah.
Let it roll.
I go off the flow all the time, like.
That's fine. But so you had that obviously helped.
Yeah, it helped me, yeah. Yeah, it did help. And I have had a lot of help with the crisis team, Cheshire East, Cheshire West, Cheshire and Wirral Trust. You know, like the crisis, the call, you know, can't get my words out. So basically, the NHS crisis line, which the media promoted about a week ago,
They did,
has
yes.
actually been available for the past 7 to 8 months, but they've not really spoke about it because it's not been available in every area yet. So now it is, which is great. So you just ring 101, is it 111?
111, I think.
And then option 2.
We'll have to check that, but yeah.
Yeah, 111, because 101's the police. 111, option 2, and then they just say what area you're in, you get connected to there, and I promise you, they have stopped me self-harming so many times.
Really?
It's incredible, yeah, really incredible. I can't speak highly enough of that.
So what makes that different to some of the other helplines there are?
They give advice.
Right.
They give advice, and some people share their own experiences. Yeah. I know, and you know, when you speak to someone that understands, you feel better.
Yeah.
When you speak to, oh yeah, this is how I feel. Can you not tell me? No, I can't. You're just offloading how you're feeling, but really you want someone to reassure you and be able to relate to you. But it's difficult with a lot of helplines because they're not trained in that. Do you know what I mean? It's like when I go out to someone, for example, I go out to all ages, supervise with people that have a safeguard training. I've done it myself, etc., etc. Never go out on my own. I always have people with me. Or if I go to a family, the parents are there. You know, I meet the parents. Blah blah blah. It's like, oh, what's going on? Blah 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 blah. This has happened. X, Y, Z. Won't talk to anyone. Won't talk to the psychiatrist, CAMS, anything like that. I've got the duck, so give the parent the duck, and they go and play with the duck, whatever. And we're just having a brew, whatever. We're just chatting, and they open up, literally like that. Easy peasy.
Because they know that you've...
Yeah.
It's that relatable
relatable.
thing.
And I feel like if more people on helplines would be able to say they can relate to it, even if they don't, do you know what I mean? Even if they don't, you're going to save someone. Do you know what I mean? Because it's all well and good just offloading. Sometimes that helps people. But a lot of people like to feel related for them to open up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And they also want to be given instructions and a plan of how to come out of it and how to get through it.
Not to be just left.
Yeah.
Could write a book about it.
Yeah.
Could have my own helpline.
Should be on that. That's on the list, isn't it? You're going to write a book.
Yeah,
Watch this space.
Yeah, I'm going to write a book, yeah.
So tell us about... I've read lots about how lockdown kind of was responsible for the worst time to do with your mental health.
Yeah.
So what happened? What?
So, as there was talks about lockdown and COVID and stuff on the TV and that, with like Boris Johnson and other people, you know, doing it on the podium, whatever you call it, my anxiety was getting, and stress levels were getting more intense. And I was going out to see people. I was out all the time with my mum, with my brother, a lot of people. Like I say, I don't go out on my own with Charlie. I go out with a couple of people. I have anxiety. It's difficult. A lot of people think, oh, you do a lot of interviews, you do a lot of things. And let me tell you, behind the camera, there's loads of people there with me. Anyway, I was going out doing that and I was really enjoying it. Do you know what I mean? I was in the house sometimes, going out, meeting people, regular people that I always meet anyway. And then when Boris Johnson took the podium and said, we're all in lockdown, we can't go out, I tell you what, it felt like I've been trapped again. And then I thought, oh, I can deal with this, no problem, I can deal with it. But I was petrified about it and getting COVID. I have OCD. and I have germ contamination issues, as well as intrusive thoughts, telling me constantly, if you go out of the house, you're going to die. I had intrusive thoughts telling me that if I go outside of the house, I'm going to die. Even if you've got gloves on, whatever, right? So I had that going on. I couldn't go out to help these people at the same time. So I had that going on. I felt trapped, and it was just working its way down. And I wasn't depressed then. And then I started getting depressed, started setting in. I started doing things that I used to preach about, which I was doing because I couldn't get out of it. I couldn't escape. I was taping how I felt. I was masking how I felt. And you can't tape cracks. They're going to appear. And that's what happened. And slowly, within, I'd probably say about 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, since he stood on the podium, I was planning my suicide. Yeah. I was planning it.
But you're still here to tell the tale.
I am. And it's crazy because I've felt suicidal. And what I mean by that is suicidal thoughts. It's not a plan. It's not an intent. It's just how I felt. And then 5 minutes later, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I think that's just part of, my personality disorder. Impulsively thinking, bang, I'm suicidal. Oh, sick of everything. And then 5 minutes later, you're fine. Do you know what I mean? But now sitting here now, I've not had a plan since that. And I feel like a new person. I feel more self-aware. I feel protected. I feel in control of my mind. I feel like when you get, especially with BPD, and maybe with other mental health, and this has been confirmed for a couple of psychiatrists that I've worked with and know, they've said borderline personality disorder gets better in time. The more you age, the better it becomes, which is weird.
Very
And I don't
weird.
take no medication. I'm on no pharmaceuticals whatsoever. By the way, just for the people watching, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I thought I'd just say this because a lot of people go, "Oh, you don't like pharmaceuticals? Are you a conspiracy theorist?" No, I just don't like it. It doesn't agree with me. So yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Wow. I had a question I was going to ask then, and it's just escaped my mind. Bother. That's what happens though, isn't it? Because your mind wanders. But
It
you're
does.
saying all these things. Because I went off on a tangent in my head then, thinking, pharmaceuticals. Because I feel exactly the same. So let's. That was it. I've just remembered. You said that you now, you're happy with who you are. You know your brain. You know this. What do you think were the factors that led to that? So to your growth, what was there one thing in particular? Was it the therapy? Was it what do you think?
I don't know. It's weird to explain that. Like, I think I've just grown over time. To be more self-aware and flip the perspective on things. So when I do feel like I want to self-harm now, I think it's temporary and it will go. So you don't need to do it. I promise you'll be all right. I'm reassuring myself. I'm not going out to get reassurance from other people. And I think once you start reassuring yourself, you can grow. Maybe that's what it is.
I think that is so crucial to it, because there's a lot of anger about how there isn't enough help available and the NHS is overloaded. And
A couple of doctors I've recently seen are tired, and they don't want to be there. Loads of hours, not enough pay. They need more doctors, but anyway, that's another thing.
So bring us up to speed for you today, John today.
John today, yeah.
What's your kind of, do you have, you obviously are an activist and you do these things to get people talking. Do you have a goal? Do you have a next plan?
From everything that's happened today, yes, I have a plan. I know that when I go out to someone, I will save your life. I'm very confident in that. Because, so I'm very passionate. And that's my purpose, to save life. Preserve life, and I will. Do you know what I mean? I'm so confident. I feel like Batman sometimes. It's weird. I don't have the Batmobile or the cape. I need a cape, don't I? Yeah. But I don't need social media, and I don't need that.
Go on then. Tell us why you're saying that now today.
All right, so
what's happened today?
So basically, I've been targeted by hackers, and they've they've got on my social media without entering passwords or two-step verification. They've just managed to get on it. And at first it was upsetting. But when you wake up every day not feeling suicidal, nothing can buy that. No money, nothing. Not social media, nothing. So I'm going to walk away from social media, and I'm going to still do my campaign work. Yeah, I'm still going to help other people, their charities, podcasts, etc., etc., and I can still do that work without having social media. 5 years ago, if this would have happened, I would have broke down, cried, gone crazy, self-harm, tried to kill myself. Today, I'm at peace with it, because I know that isn't gonna help it, is it? Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So my message is going to help people, and I know when I go out, I will save your life. I've done it. 1,500 people I've saved in 6 years. So, yeah. I don't need social media for that, do I? Social media is just to market things. Oh, look what I've done. Look at my achievements. Look what I'm doing with my life. Fuck that. Honestly, I feel like it's blessing in disguise. The universe, I'm very big on law of attraction, very big on energy. And today, on World Suicide Prevention Day, I have been hacked, and I've had to delete all my social media to prevent anything happening, because when you're a target, they'll just keep on coming for you. So I'll just wipe the slate clean, but still do what I'm doing through different charities, through different networks, still getting the message out there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is what I'm going to do. I'm going to write a book, I'm going to get on with my work, and I'm going to still save in the world, I suppose. So, yeah.
Fantastic. John, it has been an absolute pleasure to talk to you today.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me.
It's all right.
And Ozzy in the camper van.
Cheers, thank you.
And I'll look out for the book.
Should do, yeah, thank you.
It starts with an itch and a tingle, and then it builds and expands. And suddenly, all at once, my legs won't let me stand. I scratch till my fingers go numb.